Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's celebration is for Chief MKO Abiola, and we'll also be talking a little bit about the 12th of June, which is Democracy Day in Nigeria. So happy Democracy Day, my people. All right, let's get into the story then. Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola was born on the 24th of August 1937 in Abeokuta, which is in Ogun State, Nigeria. By the time he was born, his parents had already had 22 other children, and none survived past their childhood, unfortunately. So when MKO came, they named him Kashimawo, which means let us wait and see. This reflected his parents' fears that he may also die in a few years, just like their previous children. However, though, MKO made it past childhood, and when he turned 15, they renamed him Moshood. He was their miracle baby, the first of 23 to get past childhood. That is a pretty big deal. A huge chunk of his story focuses on the political journey, which is wonderful, but he was also a businessman, and this business savviness started when he was just a young boy. At the age of 9, he had already started his first business selling firewood, because even though his mother and father had their own businesses, money wasn't coming in as much, as they were not the richest family in town. And the money that was coming in from the parents was not exactly enough. So MKO had major responsibilities. He was supporting his family even as a little boy who still had school to go to. He was a natural leader, you see, fearless, but also compassionate and honest. With all the responsibility at home, though, he somehow found the zeal to get involved in activities at school and still pass his exams. So, because he needed to fund his education, right, he used his talents to start a music band as a teenager. And at first, he was literally performing for free because they would only give him food. But eventually, he and the band started to earn money through their performances. So apart from being business savvy, he was also intelligent, and this same intelligence earned him a scholarship to the University of Glasgow in 1960, where he went ahead and studied accounting and got fully certified as an accountant. He graduated with a first class and all-round distinctions, both degrees. Before going to Scotland, though, he previously worked at Barclays Bank in Ibadan and also joined the NCNC political party, which was the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons. So he had a good knowledge of the financial industry for sure. So when he got back to Nigeria after studying in Scotland, naturally, his first job was at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital as a senior accountant. He had several jobs after that and continued his business ventures in all sorts of industries. Just to name a few, he was involved with oil, communications, finance, food, he even had a football club. Coming from his family background where they had very little, MKO had built a great life for himself at this point through hard work. He made lots and lots of friends, but he never forgot the people in his community who were still struggling to make ends meet. He consistently gave huge amounts of money and scholarships to those in need. At this point in his life, he was a very rich man, right? But he remained in tune, like I said, to the people, to the needs of the people. So naturally, politics was another way of helping those in need. And by 1980, NCNC, the political party had joined previously before leaving for Scotland. They were no longer a party, right? So Abiola joined the National Party of Nigeria, NPN. He was so well loved that he was elected the chairman of this same party, NPN, in Ogun State. Yes, Abiola was humble and he was not afraid to speak his mind. He advocated for the need for reparation, for slavery and things like colonization. Was very vocal about when Nigerians are supported by their own government, then they will be encouraged in their ambitions, and this in turn will have a positive effect on the nation and the economy and, progressive, amazing messages like that. Now, let's fast forward to the 90s. Abiola was still very well into politics and still a businessman. But he was now part of the Social Democratic Party, one of the two major political parties in Nigeria at the time. Nigerian government, the way it was going, it seemed to be going at a pace where it was time to finally elect the first civilian president. This wasn't the first time a civilian would be in power, but previously had come with a lot of bloodshed and a whole lot of stress. Please Google it. 1979 to about 1983. That was stressful times. So this time, however, it looked like it would be different. After Abiola was chosen as his party's choice, he went through the mandatory primary election and the local elections, all that thing, and it was finally at this spot where let's start the campaign. Let's show the Nigerian people what I want to do. And this campaign was filled with a lot of hope and a clear plan of how it was going to focus on building Nigeria and making it comfortable for Nigerians, even those reluctant to come back home. He wanted to create a space where they were, going to come back to a safe and a better Nigeria.
We employ people purely on merit, round pegs in round holes, period. There are so many people who work for me whose hometown I don't even know. I don't even know them anyway. I don't have to know them. Because we want to be objective. If I could do that in my own small business, I think Nigeria has every reason to expect from me a clear vision when it comes to the management of the affairs of the country as a whole.
But of course, with a lot of great people, there will be opposition to the wonderful things they want to do. There were also people who did not necessarily trust him. However, he continued this campaign, and he had more people for him than against him. Because on the 12th of June 1993, when it was time to count the votes, the Nigerian people chose MKO Abiola as their president. Over 14 million Nigerians voted for him, guys. Nigerians were buzzing. At last, democracy was working. Hope, right? Joy was sure to follow. The military government, aka Ibrahim Babangida, he was like, no, I'm going to find a way to annul this decision. And he did. And he basically ignored what the Nigerian people wanted. They had voted for Abiola to be president. Despite this election in 1993 being peaceful and a clear indication of how Nigerians are intelligent enough to choose their own leaders, the powers that be, they just completely ignored that fact. They went ahead as far as even locking him up in prison and locking Abiola up in prison. And while he was there, his amazing wife, Kudirat Abiola, she continued the fight for justice, advocating. She was so brilliant that they were even threatened by her. And unfortunately, she also lost her life to a military attack in 1993. Chief Abiola, however, declared himself president, rightfully so. But this step up was short-lived when they put him in jail after terrorizing his entire family. Though Abiola did not live to become the official and the rightful president of Nigeria at the time, we all know he won that election in 1993, and he would have made a brilliant president. Even though the government ignored his election for many years, and a lot of Nigerians never did, and June 12th was originally Abiola Day to a lot of people all across the country. But it wasn't until 2018 when it was acknowledged that M.K.O. Abiola was, the winner of the presidential election in 1993, as it should have been. One thing is for sure, even with everything I've said in this video, a lot of things that I left out, it was a brilliant example of what democracy can achieve, and basically the idea that listening to the people's voices and their choices, that rhymes, as it relates to their leaders and the policies and so on, it's very important. MKO Abiola, Chief MKO Abiola, cared about people, cared about Nigerian people. And we salute him and his legacy, and we thank him for living well and continuing to teach us even to today. So as you celebrate June 12th tomorrow, wherever it is you are, remember that there was once a man who lived very, very well. Before and after his death, he received lots and lots of awards and titles, almost 200 traditional titles from all across Nigeria. He's a chief and a whole lot more. He's wonderful, and we celebrate him today and always. Yeah. So thank you very, very, very much for watching. Happy Democracy Day, my people. Happy MKO Abiola Day. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.
I've been working every day. Heaven knows what I want. I'ma sing my ass off till I get what I want. Heaven knows what I want.